and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. First look / review that I've done in a long time. For those of you that have been part of my channel, you know I kind of started my channel out with World of Tanks, moved into Farming Simulator, and never looked back. I even dumped World of Tanks for several months, actually quite a few times, because I get angry and then I need a break. And so World of Tanks has been kind of wishy-washy, so I'm not expecting to get a ton of views on this video, but I thought I'd do it for you anyway. I rarely lately buy premium tanks. Now, over the years, people have given me a bunch of premium tanks. Sometimes I buy them if they really tickle my interest. I really tend to like the tier 5 and 6 premium tanks, tier 7. I'm not a great player, so tier 8's a little bit intimidating to spend 50 bucks on a tank where you don't know if you're going to be good enough at it or not. The problem with some of the older premium tanks in World of Tanks is that they've been pretty heavily, what's the word I'm looking for, power creeped. So old favorites like the, I don't know, the IS-6, any of these premium match-made tanks, the preferential matchmaking tanks, the Jag Tiger 88, those tanks are fairly irrelevant in game now because everybody flings gold. And so the armor doesn't really count for anything. Though on the Jag Tiger 88 is still heavy front. But the way that this game has gone, it's really favoring medium tanks now. They're fast. They're mobile. They've got decent guns. They've got decent armor. There's really no point in playing. I mean, heavy tanks are still okay, but they've nerfed the light tanks. They've changed all the maps so they're flat, so there aren't good spots for tank destroyers to hide anymore. They've pretty much made it a game that's designed towards medium tanks. So when these new premiums come out, I'm not saying they're not good, but I can't afford to keep buying $50 tanks when 300 people are going to watch the video. So that's why I haven't done reviews in a while. If people gift me tanks, I definitely will do reviews on them and first looks, but I just can't continue spending 50 bucks here, 50 bucks there, especially with the rate that they've been putting these tanks out. I mean, come on. We get a new tank like every week. They're bringing out new tanks, or they're reintroducing / newer tanks. So we've got new stuff like the Defender and the Object 262, the same tank, the Patriot, the new French AMX heavy tank. We have all these mediums that are coming out, the Prima Victoria. We've got the Progetto. I mean, there's just this whole group of new, very capable tier 8 premium tanks that, in the past they've made them kind of crappy. Now they're starting to really step their game up with these premium tanks and make them viable on their tiers, which of course that's good and bad. I don't know how I feel about this. This tank has better stats than the fully upgraded Centurion that is on tier 7, and you can just buy it. Now, some people would say that's a pay-to-win situation. I don't necessarily agree because, let's just say, because the pay-to-win scenario is this. You got somebody that's not very good at tanking, and they buy a tank that's expensive, and they go out and they just start winning because the tank is so great. And World of Tanks isn't that kind of game, to be honest with you. If I took my 13-year-old son, who's fairly good at tier 4, never really played on tier 5, and I stuck him in this tank, he would not do well in this tank. I'm sorry. I don't care if he paid 100 bucks for it and it had way better stats than any other medium tank in the game. He doesn't have the experience to do well. So I kind of disagree with that whole pay-to-win philosophy. If you're a good player, you probably already play a tank that's very similar to this just as well. Now, the fear is that you get a good guy that already has a Centurion. He's going to buy this one that's even a little bit better, and he's just going to rip the map apart. Well, that can happen. And I do agree with that. I understand the problems with that. So this tank does have a little bit of controversy around it because it is, in some ways, better than its competing Centurion. It's also better than the FV4202, which is kind of the competing premium for the British tier 8s. So we have this is the 4202. One of my favorite tanks, as you guys know. I love this tank. It's got a pretty solid top, and we can look at the armor rating up front, but the hull armor is 50 down here, not very good, but the turret armor is 200. So we have decent turret armor for tier 8s. But once again, if we look at this guy, we got 254 turret armor. I'm sorry, wrong tank. 254 turret armor and 120 rather than 50. So this tank is really beefed up front. And that's going to make a lot of people that, you know, have these or just bought one of these angry, because it's like, whoa, I just got skunked. And the rate of fire is slower on this tank too. So I will say I feel like the gun on the FV4202 feels more accurate more often. The Centurion, in my experience that I've played it so far, does tend to throw things around a little bit. So you don't always, the shell doesn't always go where you want it to go. Other than that, the stats are very similar. This tank has a better power to rate ratio than the FV4202. But because of its weight and the extra armor, it actually is a little bit slower traversing. And to be honest with you, I feel like the FV4202 is a lot faster on flat ground. It really does move out, where this tank, you're always behind everybody. It's slow. Now, for me, as a goofball tanker, that slow actually helps me, because I have a tendency to get myself out ahead and into trouble when I'm in a fast tank. So, like, I'm terrible with the mutts. When I play the mutts, I'm awful, and I get killed right away because I just get my stupid idiot head out there, and there it goes, you know. But this tank slows it down a little bit and allows you to just take your time and think about what you're doing, and I like that. So, you know, what are the perks of this tank? Well, first of all, we got this really nice plate of armor up front, and it does bounce a lot of shots. I will say the one thing that I've always been happy with this tank, even when I'm in a bad situation, as long as I got my front to the enemy, even the bigger tanks, tier 9 and stuff, have a hard time getting through this tough top. And you can see here, there's like a boilerplate or something welded on the front here. They've beefed up the armor, and this has got, you know, like 200. So if you pretty much can't penetrate the front of this tank. I'm sure there's weak spots here, maybe for, you know, damage. Obviously, these are always weak spots on these tanks, but it's really hard. If you're going up to the front of these guys, you need to start flinging HE, because you're not going to get through this. If he's keeping his bottom protected, you're going to have a hard time. And that's one of the great things about this tank that I really like about it. It's just really good. It really has. It's fun to bounce shots. And the other thing that I like about it but dislike about it is the round. So we have an average penetration of 210, I believe, or 226. I'm sorry, and the average damage of 230. So we've got rather high penetration, 226. It's actually, I think, the highest medium premium penetration out there. However, the roll is kind of low for the damage, so you're not going to do mega damage. It's almost like the same philosophy as the Cromwell, you know, like pretty fast firing gun, and probably going to penetrate. The Cromwell doesn't penetrate often, but you're probably going to penetrate, but you're going to run into an issue where you are not necessarily doing a whole lot of damage to some of these bigger heavies that you run up against. You're going to have to hit them like 20 times to kill them. So there's that. I guess it'd be more like the Matilda type thing, where you only do 75 damage at tier 4, but you're penetrating 100 plus armor, so you're always going to penetrate, but you're going to kind of peck the thing to death. This is the same idea. Now, with my crew set up the way I have it, and I have the rammer installed, and I am also, now I'm kind of silly like this, I've got both the vertical stabilizer and the enhanced gun laying drive. You might want to use vents instead, or optics, one or the other, but I just popped that in there to see how it worked, because I really wanted to aim fast, and so this does help it aim a lot faster. The fire rate is 6.3 seconds. That's 100% crew and no vents. If I change this out to vents, I could probably get the rate of fire even a little bit faster. Probably like 6.2, maybe 6.1, but probably 6.2. And then if you wanted to use like Coca-Cola or something, you could probably get that even lower. So like down to 6-second reload. It's a pretty fast reload. Compare that to the FV4202, which is almost 7 seconds. So you get almost a full second faster reload on this tank for whatever reason. And I'm not complaining. You're going to need it. So anyway, that is my in-shop look at the tank. I feel like it's pretty fast, decently fast enough for me to use, but not too fast that I get in trouble. And from an average player's perspective, it does have some pretty happy frontal armor. I don't know why, because you'd think like the Super Pershing with its, you know, awesome armor would be better. Well, I guess the hull armor 101 and 101, but we have spaced armor, so that's what makes the difference. But I do feel like even the Super Pershing does feel like a lot softer. So if you're looking for a tank that's got a hard front, this is the one for you. And you're going to see it in these battles that I do bounce a fairly decent amount of shots from some pretty big tier 8 and tier 9 tanks. So let's go ahead and get the first battle started. I'm going to show you my two best battles that I've had in it so far. I've also had some serious clunkers. A lot of times I did okay, but the team just got overrun, and it's luck. So I couldn't do anything about that. But all in all, the last 2 battles were the best battles I've had in the tank, and so let's go ahead and roll those. Oh, and by the way, before I start, one thing you may want to consider, you can see this crew has pretty high perks. I'm training them in camouflage right now. That might not be the greatest idea for you. This tank, I guess, supposedly has really bad camo rating. And it does get spotted. You can see the concealment is, well, it's not terrible, but it's pretty bad. It's in the bad range here. And that is because it's just a big tank. So, but I'm using this crew in my Firefly, so they're a little bit more, I've geared them more towards usage in the Firefly. So that's one thing that, you know, you don't have to, you can put a crew in here that doesn't have camo as a perk because the tank doesn't, it's going to get spotted. So anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the first, or the 2 battles that I had a good time in. So, we are here on Mannerheim line. I've gone with the BC-12 and the T-62A. We're the only ones that went over on the side, except for the Scorpion G, and who's already complaining about the game. He complains the whole time, starts swearing at me when I tell him maybe you should take a break, because obviously you're not having fun, and he's like, F you. And anyway, what a jerk. That's the thing I don't understand. If you're going to get all angry about the game and you're already yelling, like the first thing you say is we're going to lose before we even start, like why are you even play this game? Just take a break, dude. You don't have to play the game. Anyway, I'm letting those guys go up and spot. Obviously, I'm small potatoes on this battle, so I don't want to get myself in trouble. But look, while we're waiting, look at the model on this tank. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. We have just a gorgeous looking tank. Very impressed with how good this thing looks. It's definitely worth the, if you're into tank models and collecting digital tanks, well, this is good. Another thing you can see is how decent the gun depression is. We have a good amount of gun depression on this tank, so it allows you to hull down very easily. So here's our, and somehow I'm spotted, not even sure where that spot came from. But you can see right there, got hit by a WZ-132. He did break my gun, but he didn't penetrate my armor, so I'm going to spend 20,000 credits and fix that because the gun's now broketed. And in 90 seconds we'll have the pack back. So I figure, well, it's early enough in the battle that I don't want to have a broken gun the whole time. So I'm just waiting to see what's going on here. I pull up thinking, all right, it looks like they're not going to come this way. I'm going to, oh my gosh. Start firing. Looking for soft spots on this guy. And I get a hit. Luck. That was total luck. And we just lose the BC. The Bat Chat decides to rush in, not sure why. And I'm like, I need to do something to help this T-62A. He's not by himself, though he's, you know, tier 10, but, right? Or tier 9? Tier 10, yeah. So... oh, this was a tier 10 battle. Oops. In my recap, I screw up. Sorry. I say it's tier 9, but it's actually tier 10. So ignore that part. E50 coming this way. I'm realizing we're going to get overrun, and the T-62A is on the run. So I'm like, I'm getting out of here. And thankfully, I was able to scoot across without getting picked up until I got spotted right after I got into cover. So I see what the T-62 is going to do. I'm thinking he's going to go around the back, possibly. So I'm just going to go right here. And... see if I can't stall these guys a little bit with my amazing Arthur armor. There's a P-51 broken on the ground. Oh, and he gets a hit. I pulled too far out. My fault. Not the tank's fault. I'm like, oh, geez, I better back up. These guys are going to start pushing hard. Oh, but the artillery. Ha! And I get him again. This thing's penning right through the front of that. I was just shooting at the front of the turret, and I'm getting through some of the shots. So, yeah. And I critted his gun, too. And this guy's coming around. Well, you can't win them all. The 257 I know is going to be too hard for me to penetrate, but I'll try anyway. Not so much. Bounce. Yoink. Uh-oh, they're pushing hard now. But the artillery saves the day. This time aimed, get through it again. And the artillery gets a huge hit. He damages both tanks, a lot of damage. And I'm getting shot in the back by the RH. The object bounces the front of my tank. Do you see that? Nice big bounce from the R8, from the object. RH hits me again. Somebody takes him out, thankfully. I didn't have to do it myself, and I'm still left with some health. But I don't know if you guys saw that big shot from the 257, and he yoinked it. He bounced it off the front of my tank. I got a hole in the back of my head thanks to the RH, but I survived. So now I'm spotting for these guys. Looks like the angry tank destroyer died. And I killed him. Yay. But I didn't really kill him. But I got the spotting damage for it. So I'm happy. And the Scorpion's now yelling at our T-95, or at our artillery for not shooting the T-95. This guy is like... he needs to take a break. If you're getting that mad that you're yelling at your team, don't play the pubs. Take a break. Go play a different game for a little while. Calm down. I told him I think you need a timeout. And somebody else gets him. That's the one I'm talking about. If you don't aim all the way, the gun is pretty bad at like aiming up. So anyway, they go on to kill the artillery. I don't get to kill them, but that was fun. So anyway, we won the game. Great game. Let's take a look at the stats for that. So here's the first battle that I actually did fairly okay on. Didn't make a whole lot of money, but I mean, I've made, in like 8 battles, I've made about 300,000 credits. So it's not horrible, but honestly, I make just as much with my tier 5 premiums as I do with this tank. I did get a spotter. I don't know how, but I guess... oh, because those guys were all... yeah, my team was shooting at those guys. And we'll take a look at the detailed report in a second to see all the spotting damage I got. But I did 1,100 damage, not great. But then again, I'm an average player, so I'm not going to... and I was going up against some pretty beefy tanks there. Still amazingly pulled down a decent amount of damage against that E50. So... here we go. I made 65,000 credits after my expenses, including the consumables that I had to use because I'm using the premium consumables. It was $30,000 of income. Not much earning, but that's my fault for using premium consumables. So I got, yeah, 1,500 damage spotting, 1,100 damage. You know, I'm no Des gamer, am I? But I also don't swear throughout my entire videos, though I did swear some when I was trying to make this video. So that was a pretty good battle. I am happy with the results of that. I did come in second place on my team, right behind... that's not the right report. Sorry. That's the next report. Right behind our Object 705. So not bad, because I was bottom tier, or... well... wait, what tier was this anyway? I'm too stupid to remember. Oh well. Yeah, I did pretty good in that one. Tier 9, sorry. Okay, we are in the desert. And I'm driving this beauty up the mountain. Look at the look at that gorgeous tank. This thing was meant for the desert. Of course, coming from Australia, yeah, that would be all desert, right? Look at just what a beautiful model. I really am impressed with the way this tank looks. I'm going up there with Skoda. I mean, all the tanks look good now, but I just love it. I'm so excited about this tank. So anyway, you can see how slow it is though getting up the hill. Though the Skoda, which is a much faster tank, is also kind of struggling. So there's our readout. Now you can see what's going on. We're going to get in a little bit of a whizzing match with the team across the way here. Or should I say, for those modern people, across. There's no T in across. There we go. And we're going to... I'm going to kind of sneak up here and let's see what I'm looking. I'm going to let the in-game cam... I can't get the gun down enough to hit that dude. Dang it. But, oh, hey, look, a Jag Panther. Just going to stay down here, kind of snuggled in and... take the risk shot and get it. That was luck. I was not aimed all the way when I took that shot. Here I make a mistake and I stick my little... ouch. But I track him, but he did... I should have gotten up there straight, and instead I angled too much and definitely gave him the side of my tank. So I'm thinking, okay, now what? And I'm watching what these guys are doing because I'm thinking, man, these guys are going to come up the middle. So now I have myself lined up better, and I can't get the gun down, so I'm going to have to try a different angle. He's waiting for me. Will I fall for it? Yes, but boink. And I track him again. This time I get some damage, though. And I locked him by mistake, which I didn't mean to do. I hate auto-aim. I mean, if you're in a Scooty tank, like a scout tank, you need to use it sometimes. Even 90's ripping up guys. That even 90 player is really good. I like the even. That's another tank I might consider buying. I know they're terrible, but I kind of like those like good camo, fast moving little scout tanks. They're They can really change the tide of battle, and you guys will see at the end of this battle he does. So and I'm thinking maybe I should get down there. Uh-oh. The Progetto, thinking, oh man, I'm exposed. I was willing to fall over the edge to get out of his line of fire. We had a player go AFK for a minute, and then he ended up getting killed. Thankfully, that guy's not aiming at me, and I yank a shot and get it. 246, too. That's kind of a high roll for this gun. So, comes the Progetto. Nope. Rats. And I'm starting to peek around here and going, what's going on down here? And I'm looking at these guys and going, there's got to be a better way. I'm not going to go face-to-face with that IS-7, and he's pushing up. He's pushing up. And there's a Progetto with him, and maybe some other tanks. Our guys are staying back at base, so they are getting away with murder here. These guys are able to get up this embankment without being shot in the back, because we have nobody covering that middle section. So I'm kind of, I don't even know what to do here. I'm just like, well, I guess I'll work on the Progetto. Hopefully these guys won't fall, but they're probably going to. Just knowing that this IS-7 is going to kill these guys. I know it. The ELC is getting ready to get out of there. But so far we're winning the game, so this is good. We've got them at an impasse here, and most of their big tanks are over here, so that's a good thing. I decided to see if I can get up here and get some shots on the I-7. No such luck. I get a shot on this Progetto, but that one gets me back. Oh, the Pershing hits me too. Oh, ouch. So we'll get a lot of hits from the Progetto. 2 hits from the Progetto, 1 from the Pershing. Or maybe a damaging. And I just see this guy fall, and I know it's going to happen. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start working my way back, hoping that they will not penetrate me. I'm pretty exposed right now, but the Pershing's looking the other way. And the Progetto's busy, I don't know, doing what, but... Oh! Peekaboo! Oh, and he gets through me again. He does shoot me in the bottom plate, but that second shot, I'm behind the crest. He can only hit me on top, and I bounce it. So, once again, the bottom plate's the weakness, but I'm getting out of here. I can see what's happening, and I'm like, screw this. I'm only tier 8, I'm tucking my tail, and I'm running. And this Object 268, I'm trying to tell him, get out of the way, dude. Like, go away. I don't know why he pushed up so high. He does end up changing the tide of battle, though, too. He's a pretty decent player. But he pushes all the way up, and I'm like, you're not going to hold those guys off. I know he's not. I'm just getting out of here. Now, I had a mistake coming up here. My mouse had gone off to my right screen, and I ended up, you'll see my tank just stop. And that's because I clicked out of the game by mistake. And I was like, oh, shoot. Right here, I stopped. I'm like, what? Said some swear words and got back into the game. So now I'm looking at this 268. He's going to be surrounded, and I'm thinking, well, if I can cover him from here, hopefully keep the guys from wanting to poke out, you know, make him a little bit scared to poke out. I won't be able to kill anybody, really, because I just don't have the alpha to keep these guys scared, but at least I can peck at them and maybe make them, you know, not be so aggressive towards our Object 268, so I'm going to try to protect him. And he should not have pushed up there. He should have fallen back a little bit. But you know what? And in the end, it ends up working. I start just shooting random shots through the pass because I know they're going to have to come down through there. I'm thinking maybe if they see things exploding around them, it'll slow them down. It didn't really. I don't know. I think they went the other way, honestly. Somebody does come through the pass, but this Progetto has himself exposed. The gun goes totally right, and I just break a track rather than getting a pen shot. But now I try to track him, and the bullet goes the other way. The shell goes the other way and ends up not breaking his track. And so anyway, he gets away. Nope. At distance, this gun is not great. I look back. Oh, no, the other Progetto is, well, doing bad things to our 268. Thankfully, we cover him. That the 111 1FT, once again, excellent player. He keeps us alive as long as possible, and I think that guy ends up honestly winning the game for us. Between the even 90 and that guy, they did a great job. And I can't penetrate the IS-7, really. No, not even on the side. I'm trying. Poor guy. Oh, well, what are you going to do? I'm going to change position here to see if I can get shots on that guy. Got to watch that T-49. I know the object's panicking because he's got that T-49 behind him. The T-28 prototype tries to help, and the 49 takes a giant derpy crunch out of him. Those 49s are with that big gun. It's crazy stuff. There's the IS-7. Uh-oh. He's looking at me. But I get low enough that he can't get shots on me, and now he's got trouble from the other tanks, so best I can do is track him, and there we go. Oh, and the bad chat goes after me. God dang it. All right. Well, then this T-49 staying smart, but good shot from the WZ killing that dude. He's got 2 kills now. We have things a little bit more under control. And he said loading heat. I do the same. I'm like, you know what? If he's going to load heat, I'm going to load some heat too. Let's just get this taken care of. ELC even 90 has pushed forward. I'm going to see if I can help with this Type 4 heavy. Not sure what I can do. There's that 49. Oh, and the 111 gets another great shot. Type 4 heavy's pushing up the side. Hope they're all calling for help. I can't do much, but my shot. Wow, that was a huge hit. Huge hit for the Object 268. And my shot goes into the sand. Once again, you got to really aim with, well, honestly, with anyone, pretty much any tank, you know. The way that they've made the game now, you can't just, well, unless you're Russian, you can't really just pull the shots. You got to aim. So we got a bit of a less exciting part here. I'm going to move up, and the STRV finally shows up. Stierver, whatever it is. And F1OT is telling us, get in the cap, both of you cap. So I will obey. I say affirmative. I get in the cap. The idea is to pull this, and of course I make a mistake and run something over. I don't want the artillery to know I'm here, but now he does probably. But I want to get into a position where I can't be shot or the guy has to come look for me. The whole point is to draw the guy out. Now, if the even 90 had been on here, we could have capped, but I'm glad he didn't because we might have lost. If the even 90 had listened, this might have been a loss. So let's see what happens here. Nice. So our artillery takes out their artillery. So now it's just us against that 5-kill Sturver. And the 111 FT is just going to sit. And, oh, he comes over. I'm hoping that I can get shots. It's forced him to move, though. He can't. I've got enough time to cap, so he has to move now. If he had killed that 111 and then the ELC was in the base with me, that would have been really bad. But our artillery takes a huge hit. The 111 gets a huge hit. And then the even 90 takes him out. And because of that teamwork there between the artillery, the 111, and our even 90, we end up winning the game. So thank you so much, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the results for that battle. All right, there's the results for that battle. This one was a much better battle. Got a lot of awards for this one. I got Bruiser, Hand of God, Master Gunner, Fire for Effect. Definitely a fairly high-stress battle. I don't think we really won it till the very end, you know. So, and thankfully it was our even 90 that actually pulled it off, helping out our tank destroyer. Where did the team here close? There we go. The WZ 111-1 FT. He had a big game. Wow. But still, that even 90 helping him out from the back really, I couldn't really do anything on cap, and by the time I would have gotten there, it would have been too late. So, anyway, we definitely were able to pull that one off, and thankfully those guys worked together and did a good job. So here we have a win instead of a loss, and I'm super happy with the way that came out. This was a good all-around battle, showed off the armor capabilities of the tank, its ability to bounce shots, and boy is it really good at doing that. It can really absorb some damage up front, or bounce damage up front. So you just got to keep it hull down. As soon as you start exposing parts, then you get into the issues of getting killed. But the earnings I'm not super excited with, because that game to me was worth a lot more. But they've definitely changed the premium earnings a bit. And so I don't know any tank that really makes more than this in a decent battle. I mean, obviously, if you have a really good battle, you can get a lot more. But as an average Joe myself, this is going to be probably about the high side of what you're going to earn in this tank. A little disappointing because I usually make between, 50 and 60,000 in my tier 5 premiums, but whatever, life goes on. It costs more to play up here. I did come in second place, which is good. That's where I like to be. It's not where I always am, but that was a good battle. And last but not the least, the detailed report. I made 40,000 credits after spending my super expensive premium consumables. Once again, that's my fault for using premium consumables. Don't blame that on the tank. It actually is pretty good earnings, if I hadn't used the $20,000 consumable, but you do need them, so I need to wait till they go on sale and buy a bunch using gold. It's probably stupid, but it is what it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, if you like the 45 or the 4202, FV 4202, if you like the regular Centurion, the P Victoria, any of these tanks, this tank fits right in, and honestly, it's better than all of them. So, yeah, it really brings down the money. It also, you know, well, not doesn't really bring down money, but it brings down decent money. But it's fun to play because you really have, like I said, compared to the FV, which still has pretty decent frontal armor up here, this thing's just pretty bulletproof on the top half. So as long as you don't expose your bottom plate and you keep the tank pretty, you know, like slightly angled, you're going to bounce a lot of shots from tier 8 and 9 tanks. Tier 10 tanks probably can go through for the most part, but they're going to even struggle a little bit. And that makes this tank a lot of fun to play. And I've really enjoyed it. So, like I said, I've been having bad luck with it, just bad luck in general. Not the tank's fault. And plus I'm an average player, so I'm not going to be pulling off the things that you see some of these other guys pull off, like Quickie Baby or Des Gamer or Mr. Jingles or whatever his name is. But you also get to watch my reviews without me swearing through the whole thing. So anyway, have a great day, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time on World of Tanks. Be sure to check out 2X Tuesday on Twitch. My username is the same as my name in game here, VBLU Guitar. So go to Twitch and look up my user. Every Tuesday night, Mr. Mean, Black Chicken, Jared, we all join up forces and we go out there and do some tanking together and just have fun trying out different tanks and playing around. Nothing serious, but I hope you enjoyed this review. If you really like what you see, you can click on my name up under my video here. Click on Arthur Chapman. It'll take you to my main page. You'll see a John Deere harvester on the front there. If you go to the right, there's a little support button. You can always donate that way, but definitely subscribe, thumbs up, and we'll see you next time for World of Tanks.